Salam and welcome. Thank you for joining me in part number 159 in this fabulous book, Muhammad Sal'lal'laa'hu Wasallam, his life based on the earliest sources. And we are busy with chapter number 52. We are now looking into the Battle of Uhud itself, right? And in the previous episode, we looked at the layout of the map. Very simple. That's the Muslim army. That's the Quraysh army. Those are the 50 archers. And let's get into it, right? So I'll just keep this up here as we're reading through this. So the sun was now up, and Quraysh were already in line with 100 horse on either wing. So the Quraysh were already, the sun was up, the Quraysh were ready. Abu Sufyan was in the middle, and the 100 horses on either wing, commanded on the right by Khalid. So Khalid bin Walid was on the right, and Ikrama, son of Abu Jahl, on the left. Right. So here's the whole layout. So this is the Quraysh army, how they are laid out. Abu Sufyan in the middle. This is infantry. There's the main 3,000 people of the army. And on the right is Khalid bin Walid with 100 horsemen. On the left, Ikrama, son of Abu Jahl, with another 100 horsemen. So on either side of the flank, 100 horses, 3,000 soldiers, and they have laid out the battle. And this is the main Quraysh camp. This is where the headquarters, where everything is being laid out. The women are here, the food is here, the extra weapons, everything is being, and the command center. That's the command center where instructions are being given out. Meanwhile, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his command center is over here, and he's given three standard bearers to the Aus and Khazraj, right? From the center, Abu Sufyan gave the orders to advance. So Abu Sufyan now gave the order to advance. So whether it's a bugle or drums, whatever it is, they now 3,000 were now facing 700. In front of him, Talha of Abd Dar carried the banner of the Quraysh. The two of Talha's brothers and four of his sons were in close attendance, each ready to take his turn if need be. Talha and his brothers were determined to win glory for their clan that day. At Badr, let's just see how we can do this. Right, I'll just keep that like that. Okay. At Badr, their two standard bearers had ingloriously let themselves be taken prisoner, and Abu Sufyan had not failed to remind them of this on this way to Uhud. To say, you know what, there must be no shameful activities today. This is our day, and we're going to win the battle. Mus'ab recognized his fellow clansmen from where he stood in front of the Prophet ﷺ with the banner of the emigrants. So Mus'ab ibn Umair, Nabi ﷺ gave him the banner for the Muhajirin in the middle there. As soon as the two armies were within earshot of each other, they started approaching until they could hear each other, talk to each other. They could say, hey, who are you and who are you? They could start screaming and shouting at each other, right? So they were very close to you. That means you could hear them. That means if necessary, an arrow can hit you or a spear can hit you, right? So now they were very close, within fighting distance. So as soon as the two hosts were within earshot of each other, Abu Sufyan halted his advance and stepped a little ahead of the standard. So Abu Sufyan now took the lead, and he told the army to halt, and Abu Sufyan now went in front to now start a communication. And he said, O men of Aus and Khazraj. So he's basically just talking to the people of Medina. He's not talking to the people of the Muhajirin. So he's only talking to the Aus and the Khazraj. He said, O you men of Aus and Khazraj, you must go from here. You must go away from the battlefield. Our fight is not with you. You all must please go from here, right? You must now quit the field and leave me to my cousin. Whose cousin is Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He said, I want to sort out the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This means I only want to sort out the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So basically he's telling the Aus here to go away, and he's telling the Khazraj to go away. So 3,000, he's only willing to face 250. He's even scared to face 700. So he's telling 250 of the Aus to go away. He's telling 250 of the Khazraj to go away. And he said, okay, you 250 of the Muhajirin, all right, you all can stay, because then we feel a bit comfortable that 250 against 3,000, maybe the odds are better, right? So he's also got fear. He's a bit of a coward as well, right? So he said, leave me to my cousin. Then we will be gone from you. He said, we will sort Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam out. And then we got nothing to do with Medina. We don't want another enemy. We only want to sort my cousin out. You all can stay in peace, right? But this is the word of a deceiver, right? But the helpers answered him, but the Aus and the Khazraj, they answered him with a roll of thunderous abuse. They say, you know what? There's no such thing like that. We are staying here. We are not moving from this place. Then another man stepped forward from the Meccan ranks. So from the Meccan ranks, another man now stepped forward to stand next to Abu Sufyan. And Hanzala was grieved to recognize his father. Remember Hanzala, the one who just got married on the eve of the battle? Hanzala, the bridegroom. He tragically saw that the man who stepped forward next to Abu Sufyan was his own father. Imagine, his father could not even attend his wedding because his father is now the enemy. So his father is now standing and threatening his own son. Imagine, as per the emotional trauma that goes father and son facing each other, brother and brother facing each other, cousin and cousin facing each other. Absolutely mind-boggling, and absolutely mind-boggling. So Hanzala was grieved to recognize his father and now proclaimed his presence. So Hanzala said, "Man of Aus, I am Abu Amir. He could not believe that his influence. Now, okay, this is the father of Hanzala. So Hanzala's father, he was first a very honorable person, and the people in Medina used to remember him and honor him and used to treat him well. So now he's reminding the people of Aus and Khazraj, the people of Medina, who he is, that he is a somebody. He said, "Oh, you people, don't you remember me? I am Abu Amir." But shockingly, the people of Medina ignored him. His reputation was no longer there. So he could not believe that his influence, once so considerable, had come to nothing. He was nobody in their eyes, right? And he had promised Quraysh that as soon as he made himself known, many of the men of his clan would rally to his side. Instead, he received not only curses, but a volley of stones which drove him back in dismay. So meanwhile, before, and he told Abu Sufyan, "Don't worry. These people of Medina, the Aus and Khazraj, I know them like this. If they just hear me next to you, my own people, they'll come to join us in the army." So when Abu Sufyan didn't get a good response from the Aus and Khazraj, and this man, the father of Hanzala, went there and said, "Hey, people of Medina, it's me. I'm your guy, Abu Amir. It's me. Come to my side. Come join the Quraysh." So he's basically calling them to come join him here. They told him go fly kite. They took stones and they threw it at him. They said, "We've got nothing to do with you." So he got a shock, and Abu Sufyan got a shock to say these Muslims are really, really determined. They are not moving, and nothing, no bribery, nothing can now move them on this day because they are determined to take this victory to them. So again, the order was given for the Meccans to advance. Abu Sufyan now said, "Okay, right, you guys, now let's go forward," because now the communication is not helping. So the army is now told, 3,000 people are now told to go closer to the Muslims. And not far from the front lines, the woman led by Hind also moved forward. So around this Quraysh, the leading army, all the women were behind them, coming next to them, urging the men forward. And Hind, the wife of Abu Sufyan, was there. You remember Hind? Let me see if I've got the previous map of the Battle of Badr. Her father was killed in that battle. Here's it. You remember her father? So Ali radhiyallahu anhu, Hamza radhiyallahu anhu, and Ubaidah radhiyallahu anhu were facing. The father of Hind was Utbah, and her uncle was Shayba, and her brother was Walid. So these were the three relatives. Her father, her uncle, and her brother were all killed at the Battle of Badr. So Hind was determined to get her revenge on this day. So she was determined. So she is motivating all the other women to, urge the men, tell them to go. They must not be scared. Push them ahead. We are there for you. And in one of the famous verses, I don't know if they're going to say it in one of the other books, but Seerah that I read, the woman was giving some forms of poetry to say, what, if you run from this bed, then forget sleeping in our same bed again. So if you want to sleep with your wife, you better make sure that you go fight the war, right? So they were tempting them insofar as the carnal desires were concerned. So again, the order was given for the Meccans to advance, and not far from the front lines, the woman, led by Hind, also moved forward, beating the timbrels and the drums and chanting. They were chanting this song. "O you sons of Abdadar, onwards you that guard the rear, smite with every sword, smite with every sword. O you sons of Abdadar, onwards you that guard the rear, smite with every sharp, smite with every sword." So they were encouraging the men, carry on, use your sword and smite the enemy, use them, carry on. So when the women felt that they had reached the limit of nearness to the enemy, they marked time to the beat of their drums, letting the men advance beyond them. So the women now were taking an pivotal role in this battle to make sure that Hind gets an opportunity to chew the liver of Hamza radiallahu anha by hook or by crook. She does not care how she does it. Meanwhile, Washi is there. Washi, out of all the 3,000 people, Washi is not interested in this fight. He's not interested in anything of this battle. He's only interested in one man, Hamza radiallahu anhu. And Washi is just standing there with a spear. He's not interested in nothing. He's not interested in a woman playing his drums. He's not interested in a conversation that's happening. His only target, he saw this man with an ostrich feather. Hamza radiallahu anhu famously used to keep an ostrich feather. Some books say that he had it in his turban. Others say that he used to keep it on his chest. But this ostrich feather was the sign that says that this is Hamza radiallahu anhu. That is the one sign of him. The second sign of him was that whoever was around him when he's fighting the enemy, they was just falling left, right, and center. So wherever there was a lot of fighting, Hamza was there with an ostrich feather, and Washi standing with his spear, looking for that opportunity. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah, join me in the next episode. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.